For years, they said we needed a proper striker. Now, Ateta has four options. Tonight, we are going to take our time out to discuss about those guys, see how he rotates them, and move forward with this. Welcome back to All About Arsenal, and of course, I'm here with my awesome panelists, Tino Luque. How are you doing, brother?
All good, bro. All good.
And of
Good to
course,
be good to be back here.
yes, sir. We've missed you on this stream. We've had you a couple of times and saying you cook, and bro, you know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about cooking. We have the goat himself, Josh TG. How you doing, bro? Welcome back to the stream once again.
I'm doing good, my friend. AT, thank you very much, as always, for the kind words, and thank you for the invite, man. It's great always to be talking with you about our team, man. Always a pleasure. So, and nice to meet you, my friend, as well. I know it's the first time, so big up yourself, and it should be a good show today, man.
Yes, sir. Awesome.
Yeah, good to meet you, Josh.
So Arsenal have been crying for attacking depth. Let's go all the way back. The last real striker we had was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And he scored almost 100 goals before he left. He did score 200 goals for us. I don't think he did. Almost, yeah. But prior to Aubameyang, we had Van Persie, right? Prior to Van Persie, we had the likes of Thierry Henry. So Arsenal always had that culture of having very good strikers. But after Aubameyang left, Tino, let's start with you. There was a void, right? In that void between Aubameyang and when we signed Viktor Gyökeres, how has our centre forward space been, in your opinion?
Okay. I think to properly discuss answer your question, I'll also bring up a general trend I've noticed in football. Football has trends. Mm-hmm. So there is the death of the center forwards in football. You don't have many good strikers. Sometime towards the end of the turn of the current decade, there was increased emphasis on wing forwards. So academies were focusing on producing these fantastic wingers, but they were not out-and-out wingers. They are wingers that contributed a lot of goals, So that is not just Arsenal. A lot of teams their goals have been gone to the wings. If you notice, Liverpool, it was Mane and Salah. Mm-hmm. With the Brazilian striker, I can't remember, Firmino. We used to joke about that he was a defensive striker. Mm-hmm. But that was a multi-title winning team. They won the Champions League, they won the league. Pep's teams even had a lot of goals on the wings. So the Arsenal has been a team that over the years, through history, I usually have dependable strikers. We've had the likes of Henry. You've already listed them. So I think that our lack of having an all-out striker coincided with us taking the trend in football to take our goals to the wings with Bukayo Saka and Martinelli and the wing. We play a lot from the wing, and the centre forwards are sort of connectors. And in the systems Arteta plays, I don't think you can ever have a centre forward that is going to be extremely prolific like Haaland. Okay, mm-hmm. The best Arsenal team under Mikel Arteta that I've seen was the team from January 2024 till May, where they went on a run. And it was
when they went to Dubai,
yeah? Yeah, when they came back from Dubai. And it was Kai Havertz, the center forward. Kai Havertz had goals, but he wasn't a prolific striker, but he knitted the team together. There were goals were flowing from everywhere. So I think if the fans, the football public generally needs to recognize what is going on, and look at all the teams, the elite teams in Europe. You can count how many teams have goals from their striker. A lot of strikers are coming from the wings. A lot of strikers are playing as making second man runs. So in the case of Arsenal, what we've been clamoring for a striker, a center forward that will score goals. But I think what we needed was a striker that can, back play, maybe be a bit better than Havertz in the box, but at the same time enable our team. So I never thought Gyokeres was going to be Haaland. He never had it in him to be Haaland, but I expected him to have goals in him as well. Okay, so we are not looking at a 40 or 50 goal a season striker. It's not happening. But you need a striker that can contribute to the team and get maybe double digits, 15 goals, 10 goals, 15 assists, play with the team. So I guess that's the way I see it.
Okay, awesome. And we've still a couple of folks in the chat. Farouk Caps. Yeah, it's been a while we here, man. Good to see you, bro. Always good to have you on the channel. We still have True Copite Reds. Big ups, bro. Good to see you. So, Josh, let's go to your side and we'll start with the first option among the four we have, and that's Viktor Gyökeres. In your opinion, when you heard about the fact that Arsenal was linked with him, we have not bought him yet. When you heard that we're linked with him, what are your thoughts on him coming to the club?
Very, very hyped for it. I was excited. I was excited for the signing. Now, you guys know in the summer is a toss between him and Šeško, wasn't it? We wasn't really looking at anyone outside of those two. It's going to be one or the other. And I always wanted Viktor Gyökeres because ultimately in the recent seasons, he's really impressed me in all competitions, man. I mean, let's start with the Championship. English football scores, I think, 20 goals in both these seasons at Coventry.
Yeah.
Around that number, right? Goes and tears up in the Championship. Very, very good player for Coventry, right? We're seeing players in the past come from the Championship. Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, Gareth Bale. They come to the Championship and they came to thrive.
Mitrovic, Timo Pukki.
Mitrovic, exactly. We've seen his, Championship's a physical, demanding, very tough league. And he really proved himself in that league, man. Made a statement in the Championship. And then he got his move abroad to Portugal. Now, I know the Portuguese league ain't that great. Let's just be honest with it. We've seen Darwin Núñez come from Benfica with a big amount of money and not hit the ground running. But he pulled off some record numbers, man. He pulled off some record numbers. What was it? 97 goals in
102 games.
Yeah, 102 games. So the goals are there. This guy proved that he's a goal machine, and that is what I was really excited about. The fact that he was doing it now and across Europe as well, for his country, Sweden, for in the Champions League. We all saw that game against Manchester City where he batted a hat-trick against them, and he really proved himself, made a big statement in Champions League football as well. So overall, I was feeling, you know what? We have a goal scorer here. We have a clinical striker. So obviously it's changed now. We can talk more in depth about the way how the system and the way, is he this guy really an out striker for Arteta? Is he suited for how Arteta plays? We can have all those conversations. And I think we have had these conversations. I think that's why we've been very disappointed with what we've seen with this guy this season, because he came with a big reputation. Obviously a lot of money as well, and a lot of hype around his name. And yeah, I mean, he hasn't really hit the ground running so far this season. But to answer your question, bro, it was hype, man. It was hype because I looked at him as the last striker we had similar was Aubameyang for me. Just a guy out goals like for fun.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
So before that, it was just excitement for me, bro.
Awesome. So Tino, I would like to get your honest take on the Gyokeres versus Šeško debate.
Oh, I think he's disconnected. I think
we lost you. Okay, he's back.
Can you hear me back? Oh, I'm so sorry about that. There's a small glitch. So Tino, I'll ask you a quick question. I want to get your honest opinion on the Gyokeres versus Šeško take. And what I want you to do right now is to dissect it for our viewers, such a way you tell us 5 reasons why Gyokeres was a good fit for us, and 5 reasons why Šeško might have been a good fit for us. So over to you, bro.
Okay, so I mean, we discussed this at length during the summer, and I'm sure my comments are still on record somewhere. I wanted Šeško, okay, over Gyokeres, and it's not like I sit down to watch Šeško every weekend, but I had seen him enough to know that he was a stylistic fit. Mm-hmm. So I saw him as a stylistic fit, not that he was a better striker. I just felt that the way Arsenal plays, and what I referenced earlier, that the best Mikel Arteta team I had seen was with Kai Havertz leading the line. So I saw Šeško as a striker in a similar build. He's skillful, he's quick, he's better than Kai. He can shoot with power. So I felt that as a young striker, if he comes into the Arsenal, we can develop him to be a backup to Kai, then eventually, you know, be the first choice striker and take over the. I mean, he can rotate.
Yeah.
We don't need to change our game model when we play Sesko. Okay,
Yeah.
but with Gyokeres, I felt that we needed to change our game model, how we play, to fit him into the team. You know,
Yeah.
we need to play quick early balls. That's just not how we play. I mean, he will need to make channel runs, and somebody will need to, you know, play him in. So, but when we bought him, I mean, I was also excited. Come on, this guy has scored almost 100 goals in the last season, and I figured that one thing I always try to, when I analyze players, I try to see if what they are doing in whatever league can translate. So ball striking translates everywhere in the world. If you can hit a ball with power, you can hit a ball with power anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
But if there are things like pace, physical attributes translate, okay. But when you start coming to technical attributes like how the player, how many touches you take before you get your shots off, how
Mhm.
you find space, these are things that you now need to look at the level of league you are watching. Because, for
Yeah.
instance, you see a guy, he bags it in, you know, from 30 yards all the time, and in each of the screens, you don't have anybody within 2 yards around him. If you give most professional players 2 yards, they're going to score a lot of goals. Okay,
True.
so
True.
I felt that this guy was scoring a lot of goals, but there were goals that would be difficult for him to find in the EPL. Okay, and I know that Arsenal is a team that is quite creative. You know, we can play ping passes around and get him in, but I didn't see it. I just felt that Sesko was the guy that if he comes into the team, he will be easier to plug and play. Okay, it will be easier for
Yeah.
him to just go into the team, play with them for. If you don't know how the way Zubimendi went into the team, and it
I
felt like he's
just
been playing with them forever.
for years. Yeah.
I expected similar from Sesko, but with Gyokeres, I felt that the team would need to adapt to him, to his style of football. I never felt that he was going to be, you know, I mean, there are qualities I'm seeing in him that now that I feel that, oh no, this is not elite. But I also feel that we are a bit fans are have been a bit too harsh on Gyokeres. Okay,
Yeah.
because truth is, prior to his injury, he was already finding some sort of groove.
Yeah. That Burnley
Then
game, he was so good
yeah,
actually.
yeah. Even he was making physical. He was physical enough. Then he came back from injury. I think he's lost a bit of confidence. You can tell that what is being said is affecting him. When he scores
Yeah.
goals, you can see how his teammates are celebrating with him. So clearly, there's something there. There is
Yeah.
something being said is affecting him. So my hope is that by the time Kai Havertz returns and is fit, he is playing too much. I don't think he has ever played this level of football in his life. He's
Yeah.
knackered.
Yeah.
So he needs to
Saturday,
be taking,
Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday.
yeah,
It's like
he needs to
crazy,
be
man.
taken out of the firing
Firing
line, front line.
line.
Then let him gradually build back his confidence. I
Awesome.
don't think he's going to ever be, the Haaland, but I think there's a player in there that we can walk around. He's better than Nketiah, for instance.
For sure. For
I
sure.
mean, he's better than Nketiah, for sure. So if we've gotten rid of Nketiah and brought in Gyokeres, I expect that to be a net positive for the club. And Arsenal
Awesome.
have lost only 2 games this season with
Mm-hmm.
him in the team. So I feel that there's something there. We just need to find it, and
Awesome.
I trust that
Awesome.
the team will.
Okay. Thanks you so much. Josh, I think I want you to answer a couple of comments in the chat. The first one says Gyokeres was never a good fit for Arsenal in his opinion. Are you aligned with that comment, or do you have a contrary opinion to that?
I disagree for me.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the manager, I don't think when it comes to Sesko and Gyokeres debate, I think Sesko is definitely a better fit for how Arteta plays in terms of
Mm-hmm.
what Gyokeres was. But at the same time, looking back on it, it's like, I'm sorry, and looking at the situation right now, it's like there's still a player. It's why for me, I'm not lost all hope with this guy yet. We saw it a small size against Chelsea, right? There's a
Mm-hmm.
player in there, people. All right, and he's proved that you don't go scoring that many goals to then turn like this overnight. I'm sorry, there has to be a player, and no, there is a player in there still, but we're not playing to the guy's strengths. Obviously, that's not how we play. right? Sporting play completely different. It's a more, I said, it's a different league. I get that, but
Yeah.
they play a lot more direct to him, and obviously, we use a lot of the winners. And
Wings, yeah.
you look at the goal that he scored, he was so frustrated that he didn't get the ball first time. You know, when Saka cut back, but Ben White puts a great cross in for him, and that's a position where we need this guy. That's a position where he can thrive. And you know, we see this guy like the for me in the best positions is inside the box, really, at the end of the day, or making the runs in behind, which again we don't play direct enough for him. You know, the only times I see him getting direct runs is actually a few games ago when players like Saliba, you know, I sent about making forward passes, direct passing to him. I don't feel like players like Odegaard, I don't feel like our winners play direct enough because it's not how we play at the end of the day. And the fact that we're in the Premier League and a lot of teams obviously play with low blocks.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for him to make to make an impact. But looking at back at the signing, it's like the guy was proving it then. You know, the guy was proving it that he was scoring goals, and I feel like we didn't have that since Aubameyang, as I said earlier. And I felt I wanted something different to a Sesko. Like, it doesn't mean Sesko is an awful player, because you have he's 22, Sesko, 21,
Yeah.
22, right?
Still raw, yeah.
He's still raw, but I looked at him as very similar profile to Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
You
He
know,
actually is.
very, very similar type of players. Maybe he's a step up from Havertz in terms of because of his he has that potential where again he's still young, again. But I looked at it and I wanted something a bit different than that, personally. And I saw Gyokeres out there. He's at the time was doing it there. You know, he was a proven now striker. I feel like that was kind of what was missing. Obviously now we're in a situation where it hasn't quite gone to plan, but you know, there's still half a season to go. I still not lost faith in this guy. But, I mean, if you look to answer this guy's question, not a good fit for Arsenal. I don't know, man. I look at more not a good fit for the manager. I mean, if we all realize this, people, I think it's more of our director, right? I think Berta was the one who's really trying to push this still. We know that even before Berta, Edu wanted him, and there's two windows in a row. The summer window, we're trying to get him. Leipzig offering ridiculous amount of money. The January window as well, we revisited that situation, and again, Leipzig wanted £70 million, which you're never going to pay that. And again, in the summer, Arteta has always been that sort of fan of Sesko. So I think this is more a director pushing more for the move because he wanted them when he's Atletico Madrid director as well, and he sort of carried that over, gave that suggestion there.
Sure.
But yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so Tino, let's look at the next comment. Unknown Figs 135. Thanks for being on the channel today. So he says we are playing a pure striker as a false nine and expect him to play well. Yes, he has to adapt, but we need to adapt to him as well if we want to get the best out of him. So let's talk about adaptation. Are we supposed to meet each other halfway? And really, how do we make that work?
Okay, so there's a stat I saw hanging around last week. Most ball losses by a striker. I think Gyokeres. I don't know if you have access to stats. You can pull up. You can look it up. Like he's lost the ball like 30 or 33 times.
Yeah, 33 times. Yeah.
Basically, he was like third lowest in the league for making the ball stick.
Yeah,
so
all strikers. Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah. So the thing is this. He plays with these guys in training, his teammates, Odegaard, Saka. So, and you know how Arsenal play. Mikel Arteta is extremely, it irritates him when the team loses the ball and he has to defend the counter-attack. Okay? So, I mean, we have beasts like Rice and Saliba and Gabriel. But it was Gabriel doing a 40-yard sprint that put him out for 6 weeks, 8 weeks last season.
Yeah,
so
that hamstring injury.
So to take it back to what I'm trying to analyze, if a striker, a midfielder knows that each time he sends the ball in to his striker, there's a possibility that there's going to be a ball loss and he's going to be chasing the other way. What happens is you get the ball, you see him, you feel that he's not in a position to receive he's not made the right run that can stick the ball. You go to the guys you trust. In
Yeah.
football teams, there is trust. You need to develop a partnership. So Odegaard and Gyokeres do not have any partnership. I watch them, but you can see him develop a partnership with
Trossard.
Trossard.
Yeah.
Okay, so Trossard understands him and understands the kind of ball to give him. You watch them and you see it. Okay,
Yeah.
when the ball is with Odegaard, you can tell that he doesn't really trust the striker to give him the ball. So when we watch these games and we see he's made a run and Saka didn't give him the ball, there have been times that Saka put in a one-time cross. I mean, and he was not
he wasn't there. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody is amplifying the only time that he didn't put in the cross, that he went back and still gave it to White, who was on the overlap. Okay, he had put in that ball too many times and he was not there. So we need to look at this game from everybody's perspective. The guy that is giving you the ball that has to pull his hamstring defending a counter attack because you keep losing the ball. So what Gyokeres needs to do is to find his place in the team, find how to play with the right hand side of the Arsenal where all the ball creativity is, and find when to make the ball runs and make the ball stick. Okay, so this is exactly what I think needs to be done. Of course, like you asked a question, so I'll give you a direct answer. You wanted to know if we are to meet him halfway. Yes, we are. However, he needs to understand the standards required in this team. A centre forward cannot, an Arsenal striker cannot be the guy that loses the ball the most, number 3 in the league. Unacceptable. Okay, it is completely, it's not done. So if you remember the clip from the All or Nothing documentary, when Mikel Arteta suggested that when the corner, they put the press on and the ball is assessed, they said that £5,000. That is how bad he feels whenever a ball is lost and his guys need to start running, because this things puts strain and stress on the players and leads to injuries. So this is the way I see it. He needs to learn how to play with his midfielders. At the same time, they need to recognize that he's trying and play those balls more often and be willing. It's a two-way street. But this is how I see it, that he himself, he has not covered himself in glory. So when he doesn't get the ball, I mean, I appreciate that he's throwing a tantrum. It means that he cares and that when the ball came, he scored. But he should learn that football is about partnerships. You need to develop a partnership with your midfielders, so that when they understand your runs, they'll give you the ball the way and how you like it.
True. So, Josh, let's look at this comment from Sule Ehamo. Always good to have you on the channel, bro. There's this narrative, Tineluki even spoke about it, of how our wingers don't let go of the ball as soon as possible. And there's even this narrative that Saka has been the major culprit in not letting go of the ball, in quotes, to feed Gyokeres. I don't think that's right, because I've seen many games. You can talk about the Liverpool game where Saka dribbled Keke, dribbled McAllister, and played the ball across. Declan Rice also had another opportunity from the left where he played the ball across, and our number 9 wasn't there. So what's your take on this narrative of our players not releasing the ball on time for him, or do you think he needs to do better?
I think it's a bit of both. I feel like there is that aspect to it with the winners, but at the same time, I feel like Gyokeres, one of the criticisms I gave this guy is, again, he as that striker, I get it with the whole, in terms of the service, I get it with the whole system side of things, but as a striker, you gotta have that hunger still. You have to try and make things happen for yourself at the end of the day, like he did against Leeds United at the start of the season, where he moves out wide, takes on his man, scores that really good goal. That's what he needs to, get more into his game. And the guy's a big guy, man. He's built like a tank, if we're being real with it. And I want to see that. I mean, you've got it down there as a physical game changer. I want to see that more often, him using his body a lot more, because I feel like a few times if he can hold the ball up, as long as he uses that strength against his defenders. This is Premier League football now. it's a complete step up physically to anything he's really seen, if we're being real, in his career. You know, he's up against some beasts. He's going to be up against a beast against Forest, right?
Yeah, Milenkovic and Murillo, those guys are so physical,
they're
man.
solid, man. They're solid and they're physical. So that's what I kind of wanted to see a lot more of this guy. Use his body a lot, because a few times he gets brushed off too easy, I feel like. So that'd be one of my criticisms when I'm looking at Gyokeres is, you know, he needs to use his body a bit more. But again, it's like, it's coming back to the point really where this whole sort of system and the way how we're playing isn't really suiting us. I mean, he's getting not enough touches even in these types of games. You know, I'm seeing him get, I think it was 8 touches.
Yeah, against Liverpool.
The
That
other night against Liverpool.
Yeah,
you know, barely any touches here and there. But again, they're still small. They're small samples. I mean, I bring up the Burnley game for example. You know, before he got injured, that first half he had where he's making stuff happen for himself. You know, he obviously got himself that goal, but he switched that ball for our second goal, wasn't it? Where
yeah, when he gave to Trossard on the wing before he crossed the right.
Great ball into Trossard on the win. You know, so there's still these small sample sizes where we're seeing Gyokeres, even against Chelsea in the cup match. I thought his overall play. I mean, he got that assist as well for the Zubimendi goal where he laid it off too nicely.
Play, that was good. Yes.
The Bournemouth game as well, where he had about 3 defenders on him. You know, he still did his thing where, again, he used his strengths. He laid it off really hard. The Newcastle game, the St. James's Park, I thought overall performance, he was looking at open up the spaces for the wide players. You know, he's trying to do what Arteta wants the striker to do. You know, he's trying to do all the dropping deep if he has to, the link up play. But again, you can clearly see it's not comfortable for him, man. It's not his game. It's taken a long time to adapt. I mean, he's on 8 goals right now, right? In all competitions. I still think we see a scenario, and this may sound mad. I still think we're in January the 16th today, right? We've still got a lot of competitions. You know, we're in the FA Cup still. We're in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Champions League is coming up. The knockout stage is going to play a big part for that, and the rest of the Premier League. I still think we see a scenario where Gyokeres can turn the season around personally, man. And I still think he can get quite a few goals. And I'm not talking like the big numbers in Portugal. That's ridiculous anyway, to think anyone will get 50 goals, 40 goals. You know, the only guy doing that is Erling Haaland, right?
Yeah, and
he's
a robot.
He's a robot, man. He's on a different universe. So
that makes sense. I agree. So before we go to the next striker, one final word from you guys. With what you know so far about Viktor Gyökeres, what is your realistic take on the final amount of goals he would have this season at Arsenal? I'll start with you, Josh, before we go to Tino.
I'm going to say he gets, in all competitions, I'm saying he gets over 15 at least, second half of the season. I think he turns it around. As I said, we're still in all the competitions, so realistically, I'm saying he's going to, you know, still get some goals here and there, man. So, yeah, over 15 for me.
Tino?
Yeah, I think like Josh mentioned, we are still in a lot of two cup competitions. He's going to play in those games, and I think he's going to get up to I think he will finish somewhere around 18, 19 goals this season.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Okay, so let's go to the next forward, and this is Arteta's love child, Kai Havertz, assistant forward. Havertz might not necessarily pass the eye test, but as a striker, he's gold tactically for Arteta. His off-the-ball movement is elite. He wins his area duels. He connects midfield and attack, and he drags defenders out of shape. So, starting with you, Tino, what do you love the most about Havertz since he started playing as a centre forward, and what have we missed since he's been injured?
So, I like Havertz. You know, I've always liked Havertz. Okay, even when he was in Leverkusen, and when we signed him from Chelsea, and I've always loved him. But what I like the most about him is his mentality. Okay, he's a proper German, player. He's constantly working to improve, to be a team player. He works for the team. He's a team player. Okay,
yeah.
Havertz is not an out-and-out striker. He's never been. He's just converted to play in that role. It's a false nine. Okay, so
Mhm.
the thing, there's one thing I like about the one thing about Havertz and this Arsenal team in general, in particular, I like is the fact that they do not look down on any aspect of the game. Okay, so let me explain. For instance, if you come to a football match and that day is a day for a scrappy headed goal from a throw-in, Mikel Arteta and this Mikel Arteta and this team are very fine and happy to play that game
Yeah.
and and win. So the team doesn't look down on football. They
Sure.
appreciate the sport and how what it takes to win. So Havertz is the kind of player that if you ask him to today that you are not going to step into the box, that your entire match that you are going to be marking a defensive midfielder, maybe he's going to do it. So that part of his game I love. Then as a striker, as a forward player, I love his movement.
Yeah.
This guy finds he's the modern Ram Delta. Okay,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
is he's a space invader. He finds space. The downside, the aspect of that of Havertz that gets our Arsenal fans and generally people walked up. He doesn't have very good ball striking. He doesn't strike the ball with power, and I
Yeah.
don't think it's something that he's going to ever develop. But he's pretty smart. He finishes. I think he overperforms his xG.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have the stats. I think Havertz overperforms his xG has always overperformed his xG. So he's a striker that is there. He forms relationships with players easily. He can play with Trossard. He can play with Odegaard. He can play with Saka. He can drop into midfield and play in a double 10. The last game when was it against Chelsea when they brought in no, not Chelsea, the one before that. Yeah, it was the Chelsea game, and people were complaining, how can you play Havertz and Merino double eight? This is haram of the highest peak. But no, this guy plays with everybody, and
Yeah.
he can find himself. He's coming back from injury, so Arsenal fans people need to be patient with him. He's not going to have that physicality at the bust right now. But I believe that when Kai Havertz, I always refer back to the best Arteta team I've seen. He had Kai Havertz playing center forward, and the
Yeah.
team was operating at a level that you needed a demon team like the Manchester City team that won the treble to beat them by 2 points to the league title, because everything was working up front and Kai Havertz was putting it all together. So I think that Kai Havertz is Arsenal's center forward and is going to be for a very long time. He's going to get a contract. Okay. I mean, clearly Kai Havertz is going to get a renewal when it's time to renew him. So
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere. So all these guys that we are signing need to find a way to play with him. He can play with anybody. So if you're on the pitch with Kai Havertz and you are not playing well, it's your fault. That's the way I see it. It's your fault. You need to find if you cannot play with Kai Havertz, it means that your understanding of the game is at a substandard level, because this guy understands football and he
Yeah.
moves, he paces, his touch, his passing, everything about him is he's quick. In preseason, he was doing sprints, and people were like, "I didn't know Kai Havertz was this one." I said, "No, but are you saying
Yeah.
that
In the
I
game
didn't
against
watch?
Atleti.
Are you saying that you didn't watch him in Leverkusen? He's
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
He's
I
not
agree.
perfect. He's not a fantastic finisher, but he overperforms his xG. His ball striking is not great. He doesn't shoot with power. That is where Gyokeres has an advantage. He can shoot. But I
Oh,
think this guy is going to be Arsenal's striker. We need to get used to the fact that this guy is an Arsenal striker. People say you're never going to win the league with Kai Havertz. Well, guess what? We are going to win the league with Kai Havertz,
yeah, we are
and
about to enter.
everybody will watch and give the guy the respect he deserves. He's a fantastic striker. I love him.
Awesome, awesome. Josh, so his first season with Arsenal, obviously we know he started as a replacement for Granit Xhaka, and the jury was out for him. And he basically found a new lease of life when he moved forward to play in the attack. Then, of course, the goals started flowing. So your question to you now is: do you ever see Kai Havertz ever coming back to that midfield left eight position anymore? Or with the amount of folks we have in that start in that location, do you think it's just going to be a centre forward going forward in his time at Arsenal?
It's a good question. 9 it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. I feel like looking at this manager, he rates this guy very, very highly. You know,
Yeah.
I do think he is still in his future plans. I think he always has been. You know, he's tried him out in many different positions already, as we know when he played in that midfield position when we first signed him. But then now he's played more as a centre forward. But I mean, the thing with Havertz is, as I said, Arteta rates this guy very highly. I feel like even when we signed Gyokeres, there's still talk about him starting the first couple of games of the season, but obviously he did get the injury, didn't he? So that's not going to happen. So I feel like now he's returning back from his injury, we will see this guy play a lot more often, and could potentially be our starting striker going forward. So it brings a lot of responsibility, like a lot of motivation in Gyokeres' part to step up, because he knows if he doesn't, I do think Havertz will be the guy that Arteta goes with, but. I don't really rate him in the midfield, if I'm being real with it. I still think his best position was where he played at Leverkusen. I think, what was it, attacking?
Yeah, like a shadow striker just behind
like a half 9, like a 10.
Yeah. I still think that's been his best position. I'm trying to think, have we even played him there before with Arsenal?
No. With the amount of players we have, I don't think we've ever tried to do that.
He's played in Odegaard's position before for Arsenal, 8.
But he hasn't played 10. He hasn't played 10 actually, until when Eze joined us.
He hasn't played 10.
He hasn't played 10 for us.
I wouldn't mind seeing. I don't think Arteta will ever change his way of playing. I think that's clear. You know, he sticks to what he's going to stick to.
Yeah, but it's been working.
It has been. Listen, if
do
we've been told to use
do we have an Eze session in this podcast?
No, we don't.
No Eze today.
Because trust me, I have an idea how this team is going to evolve eventually.
Yeah.
And I think Eze is a big part of it. So when we signed Eze, it was, people thought that, Kai Havertz got injured and it was like Arsenal needed a forward player and they quickly brought in Eze.
Like a reactionary move.
No. Arsenal don't operate in that way. Every single signing has been planned for. And what you can say is that Mikel Arteta usually has ideas of how a player will play in system. And if you listen to some of the interviews that Eze has, I'm sorry, I'm doing.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. And if you've listened to some of the interviews we've had with Eze, he mentioned that the coach spoke with him at length for over 6 months. Okay, detailing to him how he's going to play and how he's going to evolve in the team and where he wants to take the team. Arteta is a manager that did put that they make fun of it now. Phase. He did a PowerPoint proposal to the board before he was employed of 5 phases that he's going to take the team through. Yeah. So he knew that there will be a point where he's going to have 5 centre backs playing across the back line. That is how detailed this guy is. So Eze for me is the key to both Gyokeres, both Kai Havertz having fun, because Eze is. We thought we are signing a left wing player that is going to play on the left flank, but obviously, when Trossard was extended, I saw people losing their minds. I didn't understand it myself. I was like, why are we extending him?
Yeah,
but they didn't extend it. They increased his pay.
Yeah, they
increased his pay. And the guy is dropping the best season of his life. Okay? But I don't think Leo Trossard is going to be there in another year or 2 years.
Yeah,
he's going to.
Yeah, he's going to be 27 actually. Yeah, just 1 year.
Yeah, and I won't be surprised if in the summer he's sold. Okay, so the thing I see happening is eventually Eze comes into the team on the left flank where defensive problems are not punished critically. Okay, I mean, Arteta has already. We already know that we have starters and we have finishers, but where I see Eze making his place in this team is as a left winger that is sort of that comes in that plays like a 10, a
Yeah.
left-sided 10. Okay,
Mhm.
now a left winger with Eze and Calafiori and and
Nkapie?
what's his name? Gyokeres. I
Yeah.
see a dynamic forming there because Eze and Calafiori are on the ball players. So
True.
you that allows a player like
Gyökeres
Gyokeres to
to
find
move
space.
around, to go into the
Actually,
channels. Yeah.
Gyokeres' best games in Arsenal have been with Calafiori playing
Yeah.
because
Even the goal he scored against Nottingham Forest, so Calafiori took
Calafiori
easy
finds him.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Calafiori plays that ball. He plays that channel ball early to him.
True.
Trossard plays that early ball to him.
Yeah.
Eze plays that early ball to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think the Arsenal team is going to evolve to a left wing of Gyokeres, Eze, and Calafiori.
Yeah,
And
and you see how Saka, Odegaard, and White or Timber are doing the business on the right. So that's
so
really good.
Saka, Odegaard, and White, these are the guys that play ball. They try to they are ball huggers.
Yeah.
While on the other side you have the team that releases the players that release the ball
The ball
quickly.
on time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think that is my long term what I see this team developing into
No,
eventually.
awesome.
So yeah, Kai Havertz has his role to play in the team. I don't like him as a left 8. I like him as a right 8, but not as a left 8.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's
Odegaard is there. So how do you want to manage that?
but you see, Odegaard is not. Saka sits some days. Odegaard is a captain, I understand, but there are some games that are not Odegaard. There are some game states that are
Yeah.
not Odegaard games. So
True.
we are defending a 1-goal lead. It's 85 minutes. Odegaard cannot be on the pitch. I mean, you don't want him. You need a Merino, you need an Havertz, you need
A
dual,
Norgard,
people that
yeah.
can a
Dual
Norgard.
monsters,
So
yeah.
you have to find to win the Premier League.
Oh, we just lost, you know.
Guard has his role, but we should be
Okay, back.
comfortable. I think
Yeah, makes
fans,
sense.
and not just Arsenal fans, football fans generally should get comfortable with the idea that sometimes your favorites are not going to play. And the reason they are not going to play is not because they are playing poorly.
Yeah,
It's
against
just the
it.
fact that there are too many games. The demands of the game of football right now is too high. And you must find ways to manage these guys. They have careers to protect.
True.
Okay. Saka, some days I see him, he doesn't start. That would never have happened 2-3 years ago. But we've recognized that this guy needs to, he needs to bench.
Yeah, but I think we had the eye opener.
I
with
can't
the
hear you.
five-
I think I lost you.
Yeah. Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you, AT.
Josh, can you
Okay,
hear?
okay. Yeah, we can actually hear you.
We can hear
Can you hear
we
me?
brother.
Yes, we can hear you. Oh, sorry about your audio. Maybe you want to take it up and put it back in? Okay, so while we're trying to sort out his glitches, let's go to the third forward, Josh. And now we're going to talk about Gabriel Jesus, chaos, pressing, and unpredictability. He's one of our most unpredictable attackers. He's a pressing monster. He's a brilliant dribbler. He creates chances through chaos, and he pulls defenders everywhere. But there are two major problems we have with Gabriel Jesus: his fitness and his finishing consistency. So, Josh, what's your take on those two challenges that Jesus has, and do you think there can be any improvements around them?
Where do we start with Gabi Jesus, man? I mean, when we first signed him that first season, the pre-World Cup, bro, we was thinking, damn, what a player we got on our hands, man. We was thinking that first season was going to be the difference in this league title, man. He was week in, week out. And with him playing up front, I felt like that attack is suited. He has such a good relationship with Martinelli. He had such a good relationship with Saka in that season. That front three was that first half of that season before he got injured. That front three was flying. Odegaard in there as well. Proper free flowing. ripping teams apart, you know, scoring goals, killing off games early on in the first half. Think about the Bournemouth games and all this, right? You know, like Gabriel Jesus in that first season was absolutely top class. And you mentioned it right there. The things that have killed this guy off, and he's being that main guy for Arsenal, is his knees, bro. Both of his knees are finished, man. It's such a shame,
Yeah.
but he's getting setback after setback after setback. You know, he came back last season, scored a hat trick against Crystal Palace, scored against them again in the Premier League, right? Had a few games after that, and then his knee went again, and then he was out for the whole season. Now he's came back again, and he's looked decent when he came so far this season. But there's still that other thing you mentioned there with, at times with Jesus, he needs 1, 2, 3 chances to then finally score one. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a thing for him. Like, to be fair, against Villa, he came on and he scored with his first touch, right? But if he starts a game, I've noticed that he's always been that type of. He's not been that out and out number 9. We think about a target man, you know, than we had in the past. There's a reason why he's only scored 15 goals in his highest he's got to. His highest scoring season was 15. And
Oh, we just lost Josh.
not back.
Oh, yeah, you're back. Go ahead. You're talking about 15 goals he just scored.
Sorry, yeah, so that's the highest Jesus ever got to in terms of his highest goal scoring mark was 15 at Manchester City. But what else he brings you off the ball? You know, you put it up there perfectly. The chaos, the pressing, unpredictability, right? Also the fact that he can play anywhere really across that front three, out wide as well. That's, you know, let's not forget that. But the problem is, again, he's a player that definitely suits the way our Arteta wants to play. I think we got him because Arteta was when he was at Pep Guardiola at Manchester City, and you saw what happened at Manchester City with them. And I said, what with Jesus, like even at Man City, they had was it Leroy Sané, and they had Sterling on both the wings, or Sané and Riyad Mahrez, for example, with Gabriel Jesus. And again, Jesus playing up front. I think in that first season, he had such a good relationship with our winners, and I really rate his link up play, and again, he can drop deep really well. Very, very technically gifted as well. You know, very, very technical, very, very skillful. But it's fitness, man, and it's the fact that at times it's just not being clinical enough for me with Gabriel Jesus. I liked the signing. I just feel it's got to a stage now where he's definitely more of a squad player than a starter. I think we can use him off the bench for many, many games if we need a goal. But it's all about, again, the whole fitness for me, man.
Okay, so Tino, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So there was the president of Palmeiras was talking about how they want to bring Jesus back home. And this was just sometime around September, October. Do you think that Arsenal should cash in on him as soon as possible? Or do you think we should just allow him try and work out, to try and make up for lost time before cashing him on him? But my question is, at what point would you let Gabriel Jesus go?
Okay, so in the summer, I thought we would not see Gabriel Jesus in an Arsenal shirt again. I mean, I thought he's had an ACL, he's cooked, and we won't see him. So the fact that he's even getting minutes now, for me, is like he's giving more than I ever expected from him at this point in the season. So if there's a cash, I think we should take it. He's lost. I mean, since he came back from injury, he's skillful, but he's lost that. He's lost a bit of physicality and pace. I don't think Jesus is. He can get better than he is currently. So I think he believes for his career, he needs to go to a step down. He needs to go to a less intense physical league. Right now, he can play. He can. I love Jesus, but he's not. Right now, he's had it. He has too much. His body has taken too much beating. That he's not the same player we signed. I think it's time to cash in. I mean, if we have an offer to sell, I'll take the money and let him go.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But in terms of this season, how much more do you think he can contribute coming off the bench? Do you think there are games he will start? Like basically the games he has started so far in the cup competitions, have you been impressed?
So Jesus has never been a striker that is known for scoring too many goals. He's a pressing demon. His first those first 3 months when he joined Arsenal, it was fantastic. He scored a lot of goals, but I think generally he will. I don't think his cameos have been okay. Okay, when he doesn't score, he at least he tries to create chaos. He can set up a goal here and there, but I don't think. I mean, I'm okay with him getting some minutes. Maybe we are up 2 goals. You can give him finishing minutes so that you can save the leg of the starting striker. But I don't think Jesus is going to play a key role in defining our season.
Okay,
He's not that player anymore
okay, fair enough.
for
Okay,
me.
Josh. Okay, Josh. So let's go to the fourth man, who is our hidden attacking weapon. So last season we were in a very, very peculiar situation. We were supposed to go for Shesko in the summer. He said he wanted to stay. Instead of going for another striker, we decided to stick with just Havertz and Jesus as our attackers for the season.
Mm.
So did his ACL in January. As Havertz went for the Dubai warm weather training and did his hamstring, and we were left with a certain Mikel Merino playing for the first time as a striker in the Leicester game where he scored 2 goals. He's arrived very late in the box. He has been a physical presence in our midfield. He's very intelligent with his link up play. So the question is this, Josh. What do you think about Mikel Merino as an Arsenal striker?
He's a weird player for me. He's a very weird player. Like I look at him and obviously we never expect this when we signed him. We thought, oh yeah, midfielder. Wasn't too convincing playing midfield to be real with it. But then, you know, he had his opportunity up front. He had his opportunity with all the injuries that we had, and he took his opportunity up front, man. He did his thing, just score some goals, and there's small signs of Marino, man. Like in terms of in the box, I feel like he's very good in the box aerially as well. I watched him
Yeah,
when he played for Spain, for
Fantastic.
example. And he came off the bench and he scored that winner for them
against Germany in the
against
Euros, yeah.
Germany in the Euros. He's done that a lot for Arsenal as well, and I honestly think that is the best role for him. Is he's that type of player that you bring off the bench with 30 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go. If you need a goal, again, if you in the box, he's dangerous, man. He's unpredictable as well. I feel like, especially last season, not many teams realized how to deal with this guy. Because obviously, like, he's never really. This is his first, even starting as a striker, for example, his first real time that he's really had to do that role, of course, at Arsenal as well. And I feel like many teams didn't really know how to deal with him, and he's quite intelligent. I feel like in many games last season when he played up front, because he's making these late runs into the box, and again, defenders did it again quite unpredictable. So
Yeah.
I thought he stepped up when he needed to step up last season. I feel like now with signing Gyokeres and with the strikers that we have back now, I honestly think his best role is come off the bench, and that ain't a bad thing for me because he's proved it off the bench he can be a nuisance. He's proved it off the bench he can cause some problems. He's proved it off the bench that he can give teams something to think about, and he'll give us something different as well. So, I mean, it's not worked out for him as a midfielder. I still think in the midfield he can play the odd cup game for me, like Carabao Cup, FA Cup, against these types of sides where we do rotate the team around. But I don't like the fact where we start him in games against Liverpool, for example, start the season at
Oh, yeah.
Anfield, Man City, the Emirates, and you see both them games this season, it didn't work out for him. And in these big type of games, I don't think it works out for him in the midfield. But as a striker, come off the bench, give you something different, I think it's not a bad thing to have. And in that sense, I think the signing has actually worked out in the end because he gives you that something different. I know we spent, what was it, £40 million on him, right?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Around that. And we all thought he'd be a midfielder. But, listen, again, I think he's that type of player that could change the game for you, man. And I think fair play to him because he's found this sort of different position and it's worked out for him. But I think going forward, should he be starting games as a striker? I don't think he should. Off the bench is my opinion.
Okay, thanks, Tim. So, Tino, Merino comes off as a jack of all trades, yet master of none. Even in the game against Portsmouth, he played in the six and he actually did very well in that role. So the question for you is, what do you think is his best position in the team going forward?
Every great team needs fantastic squad players. Marino is one of the best signings that Arteta has made, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so we all agree that this guy gave us. I mean, he made our season not collapse last year when he was converted to a striker and he was scoring every match.
Yeah,
Okay, now this guy has played as a nine, he has played as a six, he has played as an eight, and most times he drops a 7/10 at least.
yeah,
So the thing with Marino is he's like an adult in the building. You know, when you have an adult, he understands what to do.
yeah. The assignment.
There was a clip on the Arsenal website where they were asking some of the players who is going to become a manager. He was the one everybody was mentioning that this guy is going to be a coach. So he understands football once again. He's a proper Spanish midfielder, and he's trained. He has been groomed in football. He understands football, and I agree with Josh. Merino comes off as the sort of guy that when he's sat on the bench and he's watching a game, and he comes on a sub, he understands what he needs to do in that match. Okay, he's seen the game, so he understands his role better. Versus when he starts the match, it's a bit hit and miss as a starter, but as a finisher, he's usually on point. So as a striker, I don't think Merino 9 is something I want to be seen as a choice. Okay, but
Yeah.
when he needs to do that job, he does it. Okay, when he needs to do that job, he does it. Somebody mentioned in the chat, no trophy.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it the
No, no,
collapse?
no, no, no. So you made a comment that Merino and Receiver Association did not collapse. So I wanted to say like, but it actually collapsed because
No, but it didn't. I have a problem with the way, and I think it's a social media thing.
yeah,
Okay, 99% of football clubs in the world will kill to be in Arsenal's position.
yeah, fair enough, fair
99%,
enough.
and are not playing. So we have an injury crisis. Okay, there is no striker in the club. The guy
Yeah,
steps up and leads you to a Champions League semi-final
yeah.
and
Second in the league
finish
too.
second in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, trophies are critical. Trophies validate an era.
your efforts. Yeah,
Trophies are what you will remember in 10 years' time. Not that you were scoring 30-yard free kicks in the semi-final of Champions League. But
yeah,
being in the arena, okay, being in the heart is what gives you a chance to win. You have to be competitive. Clubs have the guy that won the World Club Cup sacked, the FIFA World Champion. He's nowhere to be found. Sacked.
true,
The guy that won the Europa Cup sacked. The guys that they're all gone. Why?
the
Those
conference league
things.
too, he was
Those
gone as
listen,
well.
listen, listen. Those things are important. Okay, but what you want as a club is to be. You need to be consistent. You need to be in the heart every year. You need to know that if you are constantly playing at the highest level and you are challenging for the trophy, it will fall for you. Liverpool probably should have won 2 league titles prior to the second one when they were contesting with Pep. But what happened?
Yeah,
They've been there, and they are constantly being there has validated. They've gone. They have a Champions League in the bag. They have 2 league titles in the bag. The same squad. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you can allow the boo boys say what they want to say, but I'm telling you that in any organization, when I hear things like what if Arteta doesn't win the league this year, he should go. You are playing. You're a comedian. You're a clown. Man, people are sacking coaches that won the trophies the next season because they are finishing eighth. They are struggling in the league. The league is the bread and butter of big teams.
yeah, yeah.
Your league position is completely what determines how much money you are going to make. Your participation in clubs. What you don't want is today. Okay, so for instance, for me, if Arsenal wins the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, okay, and finishes sixth in the league, it's a disaster. The
Yeah.
manager should be fired. As far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, the manager should go that day. So, I don't care about these cups.
This cup
I want to
narrative,
win them.
yeah.
I want to win them. Trust me, I love the FA Cup. We've won it. Wenger won it 3 times in a row, and he was fired because Arsenal had become a joke in
In the
the in
Premier,
the in the Europe.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
so what you
10-1
need
to
to do,
10-2 to Bayern
what
Munich and
what
whatnot.
what you need as a club is you need to be competitive in the league. Then when there's an opportunity to pick up these cups, you win them. They are not bad to have. But
Yeah.
you cannot tell me that a manager spends his whole life coaching and he wins a Carabao Cup and you are lifting it and say that you had a better season than a team that is beating Real Madrid in the semi-finals in the quarterfinals of the Champions League at the Bernabeu. It's a joke. So
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things are things we start seeing in recent modern times. Is a recent fan engagement.
Yeah, fair
Go
enough.
and look at the team that Arsene Wenger put out to play Chelsea in the Carling Cup final in 2007. Go and look at the team. That is what that competition was. Okay, so I want us to win the Carabao Cup today, this season. But winning the Carabao Cup for me doesn't validate that Mikel Arteta has done a fantastic job. That is not what I'm judging him by. He needs to win the league. He needs to win the Champions League. Okay,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
the league and the Champions League for me is what I judge big teams by. You can win 100 FA Cups, great, it's fine for you can put it there. But don't tell me that that your season collapsed because I have Merino scored a couple of goals and you didn't win anything. You're a clown. You're playing. I don't take those conversations. I don't engage in those conversations personally because I understand what it means to build. I understand what it means to have an elite mindset. I understand what it means that when a team has a plan and they have where they are going, there are going to be difficult times. There are going to be times you fall by the wayside. If Arsenal wins the Carabao Cup today and we don't win anything, does that mean that we had a better season than last season? No.
No, probably
For me,
not.
it's just another cup.
Yeah,
You know
I
what you
agree.
want. You want to win the league title first. Then you want to win the Champions League, which we have never won in our life. And I'm
Yeah.
having people that finish seventh to qualify for Conference Cup, and they're telling me that they had a fantastic season. Come on, guys, come on.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I don't
agree.
play. I don't involve myself in those conversations.
I agree.
I'm
Okay,
telling
so
you, I don't.
yeah. Thank you so much. So Josh is about to roll. Just give us your final comments before you say goodbye to us, bro.
Sorry, yeah, I've got to bounce. I would love to stay on earlier, guys, but unfortunately, I'm going to do an hour today. But yeah, thank you for having me on, AT. Really appreciate the invite as always, my friend. Make sure if you watch this now, people, you're going to smash a like and subscribe, man, to AT. If you haven't already. He's an absolute real one. So.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe to True Gunner. I'm going to put his channel on the description as well. He's actually on 20K followers right now, right?
Oh,
21 now. 21.
Oh, 21K, man. You're cooking, bro. Keep up the good work, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so
All right.
much. And
Cheers,
nice to
man.
meet you as well,
What?
Dino, brother.
Cheers, bro.
okay,
Okay.
cheers, boys.
So 2 more slides to go. Let's talk about rotation versus rhythm. This is one key part that is important. I feel you have Kai Havertz, you have Gabriel Jesus, you have Viktor Gyökeres. You play up to 60 games every season. There needs to be a balancing act. So my thought process is there should be a striker for every kind of game, and our rotations should be planned. So my question is, what type of games would you prefer to see Gyokeres? What type of games do you prefer to see Kai Havertz? What type of games do you prefer to see Gabriel Jesus?
So, so for me, when it comes to picking the starting lineup, I think they have analysts working on the teams, and they have to decide if this team is going to be a low block if it's a team that's going to be lower, it means that there won't be a space behind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you will need more players that have power, guile. So I rather it can have it. For me, it's for low blocks. Okay,
Okay.
then you need players like that can dribble, that have a bit of flair to walk angles, and bring the ball in. Okay, so for Gyokeres, because he's the elephant in the room, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that for him we need to always play him in when we are playing the teams that are open. So prior to the Carabao quarterfinal match against semi-final match against Chelsea, I felt
Mm-hmm.
that if Gyökeres had a poor game, conversations were going to be had about is it time for him to come out from the
Team
lineup?
entirely. Yeah.
Yes, team entirely. I mean, take him out from the firing line. But I think what he did in that match is, put himself back in contention for the next game
Yes,
against
yeah.
Nottingham.
So do you feel he's a good fit for the Nottingham Forest game, bearing in mind that they have defenders that are very physical and they're going to play a very deep low block? No Espirito Santo.
So for me, I think he should. He's he showed some things in the last match against. He showed some
Chelsea.
things against Chelsea that I think he can start the game, but with the view of bringing in Kai Havertz. Okay, I mean Kai Havertz needs minutes. He needs to start picking up minutes so that he will be ready for the run-in.
Yeah.
So Gyokeres starts the game. Kai Havertz finishes the game. That's what I'll play against um, Nuno. And you
Mhm.
also need to remember that I think they're in Europe.
Yes,
Nottingham
yes.
Forest,
Yeah, yeah,
they're in Europe,
Europa
and they
League.
have it. They have him. I don't. To be, is it Europa?
No,
So I've
Europa,
not looked at
yes.
the. I've not looked at the Europa
No,
table. I don't know if they've qualified.
well, no. So they okay. Let me quickly just check their
I don't know if they've
ranking.
qualified. If they have qualified, if they haven't qualified, I think they can. They will do. They can. They are going to consider that in picking in how they play Arsenal because
No,
their last.
they're 11th, so they're in the playoff spot.
Okay, so they are going to play an important game. What's their next match in the Europa League?
Their next match in
Are
Europa
they
is against SC Braga, that Portuguese team.
at home or
Away,
away?
away.
So there's something I noticed. I always felt in seasons past. I felt that teams when they when we are competing with Man City for the title in previous
Yeah.
seasons, I always felt that teams when they go to play them, they sort of don't give an effort. So I don't know how to put it. They make a decision. You know what? We're not going to win these guys. Let's just ignore this match and plan for our next game. Let's not get injured or mess ourselves up. So I'm beginning to see that happen with Arsenal. I think a lot of teams come to play Arsenal these days, and I feel that sometimes they just quit. Okay,
Mm.
we go ahead, and it's not that they are not trying, but I just get that sense that the teams are not. They feel that this is a free hit that they don't need to push too much. Okay, so remember how we were making jokes in the group about Wolves play very well against Man United because they feel they are on the same level, so that they are
Yeah.
going to come for them. Whereas when they play others, no. So it was a joke, but that happens in football.
True,
Sometimes
true.
when you meet a team, you feel that man, you don't really need to kill yourself for this team. You have a very important
Game
midweek game to
afterwards.
play.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
focus. Let me focus on that. It won't make it easy for the guys, but you are not going to play like a cup final.
True.
And I think they have about 8 points gap. I should have opened the league before speaking. This. I think they have about 8 or 7 points gap
In Europa.
from no in the league now.
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham.
Okay,
They
from
won. They
the
won the match. I don't know.
okay.
I think they have some
No,
gap.
no. They are 7 points. So they have 21 points, while West Ham has 14 points.
So they have a 7 point gap from West Ham.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That was why the game against West Ham was very important for them last
so
week.
so they don't have. So how do I put it? They are not in a They are in a relegation battle, but they are not.
They can afford to lose.
They can afford not to kill themselves for this team. They have bigger battles ahead. So what I see happening this weekend is Nottingham making a business decision and focusing on their midweek game and Arsenal going out there and getting, a fairer game than they've not been playing very well. I think they won their game against West Ham, but they've not prior to the West Ham
Yeah,
win.
they are lost four.
They've been playing poorly.
They are very
So
poorly.
I see them having a porridge game against Arsenal. And Arsenal going there and getting the points they need to do what they have to do.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's pod. Tinodoke, thank you so much for your insights. As always, I always enjoy having you on this channel because you are a good cook. So your final thoughts. What's your preference in terms of order of the strikers? Merino, Jesus, Havertz, Gyokeres. What's your preference? What's your order? If you are Arteta, who will you start and what's your top four?
I'll start Kai Havertz, then I'll go Gyokeres because I think there's something there that can be found. Then Jesus, then Merino. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Okay, so no problem, man. Thank you so much for being on the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe all about us now, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners.